What's up, guys? It is Jonathan with One Big Impact, and I know my shirt is getting super stretched out, which is a good thing because I'm dropping body fat. Boom, bitch. Okay, so hopefully it goes a lot faster than I think, or than I'm wanting. But we just finished the competition, and I started doing some Q&A stuff because I want to answer questions, not only for like my own personal clients, but also people that are out there and maybe you don't have a personal trainer, or maybe you don't really know. A lot of the times, just like tomorrow, we are going to be having at our gym, we're going to be having the ASU strength and conditioning coach here to teach us more about powerlifting and critique our technique, which, you know, you may think, well, you're a personal trainer, you should know. Well, I do know, but there's no way to know everything about everything, and I don't ever pretend to, but I will share the answers with you that I have to your questions, because I do have the answers to your questions. But I think it's important that you don't ever think you know everything, because there's always room for growth. There's always room for understanding and experience and knowledge and stuff like that. Just be patient, because all of that stuff will come. But it's really good that you guys are asking questions, because I think that's really important. By the way, I'm really freaking tired because I just trained for like 2 hours. My arm's hurting me. I wrecked my scooter today, and now I'm 1 minute and 33 seconds in, and I haven't answered a single freaking question. So first on the list, I wrote it down, Sarah Jane Reyes. I would say it's gonna be Sarah Jane Reyes. Asked a question. Her question was, I was thinking about doing stuff around here while cleaning up doing this video, but I don't think that's a good idea. I'm gonna stay focused on the video. Her question was, do you think on Atkins you should drink a lot of coffee? Now I'm gonna grab my water while still answering the question. So, while on any type of weight loss journey, the single most important thing that you remember is, if it's not this, water, your body has to burn it off before it burns anything else. Now, a lot of people will say, well, there's no calories in my drink, or it's coffee, or it's tea, or if it's this, if it's that. Okay, well, you think what you want to think, okay? Because if I just put 2 gallons of gas in my tank, I can go for 2 gallons before it's empty, right? And then what does it start burning? Well, nothing. It doesn't have anything else. And if I put 2 gallons of water in my gas tank, what does it burn? It tries to burn the water. Obviously, that's not efficient. But in the same sense, it still has to get rid of that water before it's empty. That's a shitty analogy. I'll think of a better one. But you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what you consume. To take that to another level, I want to say that bulletproof coffee consists of, from what I remember, MCT oil and butter, and maybe sometimes cream. MCT oil, I don't know if it has calories. Can't remember. I had a bottle sitting in my house, so it's been 5 years since I had MCT oil. But I do remember going to search for it, and it was extremely expensive and overpriced, and it pissed me off, and I literally drank it like once for a video, and it just wasn't my thing. But the butter, specifically Kerrygold butter, I know is about 100 calories per 2 tablespoons. So at the end of the day, if you're drinking a lot of that, or even one of that, and then you throw some cream in there, you're talking, you just pretty much just ate a meal. If I were to recommend any type of coffee, I would probably recommend one of 2 kinds for Atkins. The first and best decision would be black coffee, no more than 1 cup per day. The second choice would be a close second. Now this one would have calories. I would say 1 Splenda or stevia, a couple tablespoons of heavy whipping cream, and a cup of black coffee. The reason I say this is because Heavy whipping cream is extremely calorically dense, meaning it has a lot of calories in it, okay? And if you just gulp it in there, you might as well just eat your regular cream because it would probably be less. Sometimes you can get away from with sugar-free creamer or something like that, so you could keep that in mind. But you also have to make sure you're measuring it. Some of those artificial sweeteners will slow down people's weight loss, including myself. I work really well on just whole foods. Now, if you're thinking, well, can I have an iced coffee? Can I have a Starbucks coffee? Can I have a Dutch Bros? Can I have this? Can I have that? No. I would not be drinking, I wouldn't be drinking any bulletproof coffee unless you are finding yourself throughout the day where you randomly have butter and MCT oil and a cup of coffee in your pocket and not a meal. Which, as you can tell, is fucking bullshit. So you're not going to have that, so just make your food. I will say the fat is what makes you feel full longer. The medium chain triglycerides in the MCT oil, which is what it is, like broken down coconut oil, refined coconut oil, super refined coconut oil, and the other is going to be why you feel full so long off of it. But if you have a problem with consuming too much food, I would definitely stay away from them. The other reason, not to make this a super long answer, the other reason I would stay away from doing more than 1 cup of coffee per day is because if you exceed like 300 milligrams of caffeine, it spikes your blood sugar drastically, and then when you dive down, you get cravings. So you'll start craving sugar, you'll start craving anything that will basically give you a pick-me-up throughout the day, which is usually like a candy bar or some ice cream or some french fries or something like that, and it just puts you in a really bad situation, so try to stay away from that. I hope that information helped. If it did, by the way, if you're new here, please check us out on Facebook. Our group is called Healthy Living for a Healthy Life. We'd more than welcome anybody that wants to come in. The next question is from Scott. Scott asked the question, how do you tone and flatten your belly? And this is a more serious question than he asked last time. I'm assuming that this question is for Annie, your wife, but I'm not completely sure. If it is for you or Annie, it doesn't matter. I think the most important thing that you have to remember, by the way, I'm curious, are you guys in West Virginia? Did you say you were in West Virginia? Weird question. You guys know I'm looking to get a cabin in the future and stuff like that, but I saw a really cool one in West Virginia. I forgot where you guys said you were. Anyway, this was yesterday. The biggest thing that you have to remember when you're trying to tone and flatten your belly is if you are a male, males tend to hold more body fat in their midsection. Women tend to hold it in their hips and a lot of the times the back of their arms. But that's not for every woman. It could be different places for everybody. But that's tend to be steered more towards those on most people. If you are a Scot, fairly normal sized guy, not like me, I'm like a normal size 3 guys right now. If you're Scott, I would say get your body fat down, start strength training on a regular basis, put yourself into a caloric deficit, and lower your body fat. Or just burn more calories than you're consuming throughout the day. You cannot spot treat, but in the same sense, I will do a caveat to that. You can't spot treat, but you can build the muscles in that area. Meaning, if you're looking for abs or something like that, you should probably do some abdominal exercises. If you're looking to get bigger biceps, then you should probably do some bicep exercises. But in the same sense, if your body fat is not to the point to where it's lean enough to be able to visually see these things or get a visually flat stomach, then unfortunately you're not going to put yourself in a position to be able to see these. So I think the most important thing that you say, I would say for a guy, a general range might be 12 to 15%. You should see visible abdominals for body fat. If you have 20%, then you just need to get your body fat down. For women, that really depends on if they have abs, if guys have abs, if girls have abs. I would say do some abdominal work first. Make sure you build that up over the course of a few months so that when you do lean out, you actually have something to look at. If it's abdominals that you're looking for. If you're just looking for a flat belly, still just body fat. The other thing, for women, I would say maybe, gosh, that could go all over the place. I've seen them as high as like 20, 22%, and then all the way down to like 12. It just depends. And because women carry a higher body fat than men, so it just depends on the guy and it just depends on the girl. The other question is, Amy asked, can you smoke and lose weight? Amy, you can't smoke and you are freaking grounded. Now go to bed. The next question, Nikki and Bree asked, I guess more of an elaboration on a caloric deficit. Caloric deficit is just like a fancy, stupid, I never thought I'd be one of the people that had like some stupid phrase that I didn't understand, and apparently I do, so that's cool. What the hell? Caloric deficit literally means just less calories consumed. Okay, so if you're consuming, this is not real numbers. If you're consuming 2,000 calories, if you want to put yourself in a calorie deficit, you would need to burn 2,500 calories during the day. The other ways to look at it would be if you, throughout the day, say through exercise and everything, that you burned 1,500 calories, then you probably only want to consume 1,000. One more way to further, hopefully uncomplicate this, I know I'm trying really hard, is you can do a BMR calculator Google search. Go to BMR calculator, it'll be like bmrcalculator.net. They'll come up with the stupid little things that says put your age, put your things or whatever. And basically you just go on there and you put your age, your height, weight, whatever it asks for, and it'll pump out a number. I would always err to the side of sedentary, and this is going to give you a number called the BMR, basal metabolic rate. Basically, how many calories am I gonna burn just to exist in life? Usually, it's a good point for people to start consuming about that many calories at that range, usually that low number that pops up. So for the average female, it might be somewhere between like 13 and 1,800 calories or 15 and 1,800 calories consumed per day. Whatever that number is, if it says like 1,300, most people are going to have to probably go slightly below that, maybe 250 calories below that, to be able to start dropping weight. Now, for me to explain things, how it works for me is if somebody comes to me, for instance, Nikki, we'll use Nikki. Nikki has lost a lot of weight. I think she's pushing, once she hits 157, 3 more pounds and she's gonna hit, 3 more pounds? 2 more pounds? 3 more pounds. 3 more pounds, she's gonna hit 90 pounds lost. She's been with me for about a year. If Nikki comes to me and she is 247 pounds, which she was, now she's 160 pounds. If she comes to me at 247 pounds, the biggest thing is I find a number that she's trying to eat on a regular basis. It's probably over, so it's usually over. Usually when somebody's the size of 2 people, they're eating for 2 people, if that makes sense. So if her metabolic rate was, her caloric intake, meaning the calories that she consumes in a day, was 3,000, then if her basal metabolic rate was 2,000, then she was eating in a calorie surplus, not a calorie deficit. Surplus, eating too much; deficit, eating less so you can lose weight. Or maintenance, basal metabolic rate, to sustain where you're at. So in order for her to be able to drop weight, I have to get her calories down a little bit below that 3,000 and start incorporating slowly exercise and other things like cardio and stuff like that. In the beginning, exercise was enough for Nikki. And then, we started incorporating slow runs, different things, whether it was walks or 5Ks or different things like that. And the calorie deficit just means that you're burning off basically all of your extra calories and you're burning a little bit more. So sometimes people will find themselves hungry. Well, that is actually where you want to be, because if you're not hungry, you're not primed to be able to lose weight. I hate the way that sounds, and that sounds like a shitty thing. But usually, if you're 250 pounds and you're trying to lose 100 pounds, there are going to be uncomfortable times where you're slightly hungry. The approach I take is going to be a higher fat content and a higher protein content rather than carbohydrates, so you're not constantly fluctuating and just, your blood sugar spiking, so you're like craving cookies every 5 minutes or something like that. And if you are, it's just learned bad behaviors, bad food choices in the past, and just bad habits. So I hope that information helped. If I could further confuse that in the future or deconfuse it as far as the deficit is concerned, let me know. Please like, share, comment, subscribe to our channel. If you like our videos, please go check us out on Instagram at One Big Impact, and also on Facebook at Healthy Living for a Healthy Life. And we also have a group called World Travelers that I'm excited about as well. So thank you guys again. Be stronger than your excuses. Remember to spread love, not hate. Drink your damn water. #TeamBoo. And thank you so much for all the support. Bye, guys.